Okay, Rich, you want to go ahead and get us started?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our STNC Land Use Committee special meeting. We're going to take some announcements first before we get into the roll call. We'll wait for some people to log in. Starting off, so we'll take it out of order, starting with agenda item number 4, committee member announcements and our updates. Do you guys want to take the lead on number A? I think we had an update regarding the Verdugo Hills Golf Course site.
Yes, a additional appeal has been filed with the California Supreme Court. At this time, they've lost all of their efforts to and get approvals to develop the site. So they're taking it to this one last step. And that's all we know for now. And I don't have any timeline. Okay. And then I know there's some people here regarding B, so we could let them give their announcement on that.
Do we take discussion on? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Item number B, 4B. Any updates on former Denny's?
Yes. Yes, this is Daniel Hatcher. I actually live next door to Denny's and I filed the appeal. I went down to Van Nuys City Office of Planning and filed the appeal. And now we're just waiting to hear back from the city. They have, I think, 90 days to address all of the concerns that I brought to them. Various neighbors wrote in letters and expressed their views on why we don't want it. And also, I got in contact with Monica Rodriguez's office, let her know that none of the neighbors around here want this. They've heard the same information. This was done through one of her interns. Still have not heard back from them. I've emailed the intern back and haven't heard anything back yet. So right now we're just waiting.
Okay. The updates. Cindy, I meant to ask. Oh, go ahead, Patty. I see your hand up.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My talk is hard. Daniel, can other people write in to support your thing? I asked the city, who's on record right now, the planner. She has not replied. I don't know if it's a she or he. Do you happen to know? Or should it be put on Facebook? Should other people know about this to get behind you or not behind you? I don't. Do you have any on that?
It's my understanding that the only people that can dispute this are the ones living adjacent to the property, which would be myself and my neighbor, and there's only 2 of us. And I don't know that he did anything. I haven't been in contact with him because he bought the house, fixed it up, and is now renting it out. So I let the renter know, hey, you know, talk to the owner, let him know that I'm doing this. He hasn't contacted me. So right now it's just been me and the other neighbors on Wilsey. But I honestly don't know if they're going to take that into consideration. But the clerk that I spoke with when I filed the paperwork, she did accept all of the letters from all the neighbors on Wilsey and actually one from Hellendale. So that all of that information did get filed when we put the paperwork in. Okay. Now Monica Rodriguez, I don't know. I don't know how, you know, what their office process is, but I included everyone's concerns in the email that I sent her intern, and he said that they would be getting back to me, and it's been, I'm going to say, about 2 weeks, and I haven't heard anything back yet. But I don't think that's unusual because this is a long process.
Right. Okay. Well,
But in the end, people have to call in and, you know, talk to someone in her office and let them know that, hey, we don't want this. The more people that call in and do that, the stronger our case is going to become. And especially if, and I want everyone to know this, it doesn't matter what project it is that you don't want to go in. I was looking for anything that we could actually come up with that would actually stop a project. Now, basically right now, what they told me at city planning was that there wasn't anything that was really going to stop it until I found out, unless we are limited by space, like everyone remembers Paradise up in Northern California, the whole thing burned down. That's what I used as the primary case for not building this apartment building, because you're talking about over 100 people plus cars in one of our busiest intersections, and there's no way out. This is it. We got foothill. That's it. The mountains to the north and these hills right here to the south are going to be on fire. So that's it. That's all we have is foothill. And then they're going to stick 100 cars trying to get out of one spot. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So I brought that up, and I would also encourage others to bring that up as a standing point to say, this is why we don't want it. You have to have valid reasons for not wanting it other than your own personal issues. Like, I don't want this thing because it's totally going to be blocking my view of the hills. And that's a valid concern because I own a house. I bought a house here. But they don't care about that. They want safety issues, environmental issues. So for those people that I talked to at the last meeting when we were at the Elks Lodge, you have to take your own personal feelings out of it, and it has to be done in a way that actually puts the project in danger from a safety standpoint or an environmental standpoint. So good luck to everybody. I know we got a lot on our plates trying to stop all these projects from going in, but that's what I've found so far.
unfortunately, all of them, oh, I can't stop. Sunland-Tujunga has that safety fire.
You're cutting out. I can't hear you.
Yes, Patty, we get it. Yeah, all of Sunland-Tujunga has a issue with fire safety and evacuations. So this is just going to exacerbate it.
This is Susan.
go ahead.
This is Susan. My question is, when does the appeals period end of 90 days? Since the City Planning Commission made a unanimous decision on September 28th of this year, does that mean that December 28th of this year is the deadline for filing appeals?
No, the appeal had to have been filed within 15 days of the actual filing online. So unless you were in contact with Michael Song, the city planner that's in charge of,
Excuse me, that's more Dan, that's Maury Song, Moresong,
Yeah.
Maury Song.
Yeah. Yes. And
Yeah,
he provided me with the paperwork on the first day that I could file the appeal. And that time period for filing the appeal and the limit is already passed. So if no one else went in to file an appeal, don't worry, I already did it. And it's my understanding, the only people that can file an appeal are the ones that live within a certain distance of the property in question, and it's usually a block.
That's
'cause there was
500,
another
Dan, that was 500 feet, a little more than a block.
Okay. Right, so you have to live pretty close. There was another individual, Randy Perez, and he was the one that got me the paperwork for the appeal. He went down, and I believe he told me that he was denied the appeal because he doesn't live close enough. So all of the people that were included in the appeal live within the 500 feet. They're all on Wilsey. So I also went over parking and that being an issue. And also I tied that into, fire safety and evacuation, because the last time we had the big fires, it was a complete joke. I mean, it wasn't effective. It actually kept people from getting into their homes. It was terrible. And getting out of here took over an hour. So I used all of those points, hoping that they're going to see what they're doing here in this area. It's going to be another paradise at some point, because the firefighters, although they did a great job, it wasn't because of them that the fires were eventually extinguished. It was because the winds didn't pick up and push it down the mountainside into Tujunga and Sunland. So, it's weather dependent. They could have all the firefighters in the world. If the winds pick up like they do around this time, that it's all going to sweep down the hill, and that's it. It's like it's over with. They're not going to be able to contain it. So put that in there. I said, you guys are dealing with the potential for a lot of deaths on your hands, and you're continuing to overpopulate a city that has limited space. You can't go up here. So we'll have to see what happens. I don't know when the 90 days are up, because there's holidays involved, and those don't count. Like I actually went there on Veterans Day, and they were closed.
Cindy, may I?
Yeah, Rich, do you want to take Peter next?
Yeah, I saw someone else join. Cindy, was that another committee member? I see we're up to 17 participants. I don't know if that was.
Yeah, I don't think so, but let's check. I believe that was Rady Garcia Lewis that just joined. Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. I just wanted to see if we had a quorum. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter. Or go ahead.
Cindy?
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
Yes. Now that an appeal has been filed officially, I would recommend that all concerned within that 500 limit make reference to the appeal filed and send another registered certified letter to the city, and repeat doing that every 2 to 3 weeks. If things are not hammered, excuse me, they will be shelved, and they will be reached out to the last minute according to the calendar. And in the last minute, it will be a momentous decision. Should we not? Okay, let's do it and let's be done with it. But you guys need to keep this thing alive. I commend you for going down there and making the effort to do the appeal. But unless that appeal is kept alive, and I mean kept alive with a lot of letters, registered, certified, and referencing that appeal, I'm afraid that it's going to be a last-minute thing, and the city is loaded up to their neck. It's going to come to the agenda when it's due, and it's going to be maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes decision, and be done with it. That's my recommendation.
Peter, this is Dan Hatcher. I do remember speaking to you, and when we were at the Elks Lodge, when I spoke to the clerk at City Planning, what she told me was, since I've filed an appeal, what'll happen is we will all the persons that were listed on the appeal will be notified and will be given the opportunity to go into the city council meeting so that we can actually go ahead and voice our opinions in person. Now, what you're referring to, can you clarify, because that's one thing we didn't get a chance to talk about, exactly where are we sending these letters to? Is it just to the general city or to city planning?
This should go to city clerk and city planning. Now, the city clerk, to the best of my knowledge, is the one that makes the calendar. So he's the one, he or she or that office is gonna bring it on the agenda for a meeting, upcoming meeting, whenever that may be. My fear is, again, you just mentioned it actually, you confirmed it, that they're gonna call these people according to rules and regulations of the city and meetings and et cetera, et cetera. They're gonna bring them to the city hall. Cordially, they're gonna listen to them for what, 5 minutes each? And
I believe it's 3 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes, whatever it is. And then they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do anyway. This has to be actually pressured pre that meeting. It has to be on the cooker pre that meeting where the neighborhood and all constituents in the area are there to voice their appeal. Now,
Okay.
that voice, it should be done now. At that moment, they have an agenda in front of them and they have a time frame and they're just gonna rush through it. It has to be done now. Anything like this has to be pushed in ahead of time.
So I guess I'm not understanding how the letters achieve that.
All the letter has to do is be a pressure letter referencing to the appeal that you have filed, referencing to it. There must be a reference number on that appeal.
There is, and
yes, referencing to that appeal number, send it certified and registered, so nobody could say we didn't get it. Okay, they will sign for it. If they sign for it, somebody's gonna read it. If it's a letter, then they open it with a letter opener, it's gonna get in a file on the left-hand side.
all right.
Okay.
So then,
I mean, you're doing it the right way, but there's a pressure way of doing things like this.
Got it. So I guess my next question would be, since you are pretty experienced at this, what would be the best way to get this out to people that are not living close to Denny's, that obviously don't want this apartment? There's a lot of people that I've talked to. I haven't found one person yet that wants that apartment building here. So, but they don't live within the 500 feet. So do we put pressure on the city or Monica Rodriguez?
See, Monica Rodriguez is only one vote.
Okay.
Okay, if Monica Rodriguez were interested in this, you would have heard from her by now, after your appeal. I'm not pointing at Monica, I'm pointing at any city council person.
Okay.
There's nothing in this for Monica Rodriguez in the next election to be elected or not elected. Chances are she's already looked how many people live around that area and figured, okay, I'm losing 50 votes, 100 votes. Can I afford it? Yes. So I'm not gonna touch it.
Okay. So we just need to
these people, I'm sorry to say, but I'm not picking on Monica again, but they are self-serving people, they don't care about you or me or Tujunga or that apartment building or the people that live around it. Now, the pressure has to come from you guys. Constantly be there, so actually put a scare factor into it. That these guys could be trouble. I think I
Yeah,
better have a
well,
look at this.
I tried getting the news agencies involved, and I've called 4. I haven't heard anything back, and that was weeks ago. I can try the local paper, the Foothills paper. I did reach out to him, and you know, he was kind of a naysayer that, well, people won't get out and do anything. I'm going to try to get him to print something about this, and then also the neighbor app. I will write something in and make sure I give all the information, but I need to find out where those letters have to go. I need to find the specific address so that we're not wasting our time sending it to the wrong place. So it has to go to the county clerk for what office? Because it's not city planning. It's
Where did you file it? Where did you file your appeal?
city planning in Van Nuys.
Yeah, we need to check the process, the procedure, and research that. We should see if we can find you some additional contacts to include. And
Yeah,
also-
all I need to know is what is the person and the department and a physical address that I'm supposed to go to, and I'm thinking we go just to the local paper, and I think the other thing to do, go over here to Sunland Printing, and I'll have a banner made up and put it right there on the fence, so everybody can see it with the account number and the address to send your complaints to.
yeah,
That's the only thing. I don't see any other way to get people to notice that don't specifically live around here in order to bring people in, because there's a lot of people, they didn't even know about it.
so
So,
if you
See,
have a
that tells you
of-
the story. That tells you what you need to do then. What you just said is right on.
and
I
The fact that
that's
you're
all
gonna
we
go,
can.
and the fact that you're gonna go to the paper and write an article and give it to the papers to publish it, it's very timely, because holiday time, that paper is gonna have a bigger distribution than normal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know that.
so
Actually,
so
I can do that Tuesday or Wednesday.
can you stand by? I want to check to see if we have another additional committee member so we can move along. I see someone came in.
me, Cindy.
Oh, okay, Nina's here, so we can get our meeting on track officially, Rich.
Okay.
Okay.
So is who,
Wait up.
I need to get my information to you guys so that someone can contact me, because I don't know where to send the letters. And if we have 100% solid address and department, so that I can put it on a banner, I can put it in the newspaper, so we can get that out. Because in the end, it's going to be the same address for any project in our city. So if somebody, on city council can please research that and find out, because I don't even know where to start. I mean, if it wasn't for Peter and other gentlemen I met at the Elks Lodge, I wouldn't have known what to do. You guys were the ones that set me in motion with the appeal. All I need to know is get me the right address and the department, give that to me, and I will take it from there, and I will do whatever I can. I'll have a pretty sizable banner made up, and it'll be right there on Foothill. And actually, I'll ask Sunland Printing if they would be willing to put one up on their, they have a pretty sizable fence. And they've put up banners before. And I know they would not want that apartment building there. I don't even need to talk to them to know they don't want it there.
Okay, sounds good. Rich, do you want to carry on? We're gonna come back.
Yeah, we'll come back to this. Thank you for the comments. All right, let's start off with a call to order. Let me see if I have a list. Patty? Or Cindy, do you do the call to order?
Here,
Okay. Cindy?
Sorry, I'm here, yes.
Nina?
Nina, you can
I saw
unmute,
her.
let us know. She's iPhone 4. Hi, Nina. Okay, we'll come back to Nina.
All right, we'll come back. Okay. I guess myself, Richard, here.
Mhm.
Liliana? She's not. Is she here? No, she's not here. Vartan?
Here,
Betty? No. Burge? Kathy? Stephanie?
Testing, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. So Nina's a yes.
Present, it's Stephanie.
Stephanie is here. Peter?
Here,
Arson? Okay, I think we have quorum. Okay, first up, welcome everybody. Don't forget to check out the website. We have a sign up sheet or sign up list there for email updates. We're gonna use that to do outreach. Do we have any community event announcements? Cindy or anybody?
They're all listed on the website, so you can connect at stnc.org for any events in the community that we have been notified of. There. Thank you.
Okay, so now item number 2, the minutes from the last meeting. Any discussion on the minutes? Anybody want to move to approve it?
Let's see. I'd like to move to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, do we take a vote? Or
Yes.
sorry, or is it just okay? Let's take a quick vote. Cindy, do you want to take the vote? Sorry.
Yes.
Really bad
Okay.
today.
Patty, if you want to, I know.
yes,
Okay. Richard,
Yes.
Cindy is a yes. Nina. Nina.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Thank you. Vartan,
Yes,
Stephanie,
Yes,
Peter.
yes,
Okay. Thank you. All right.
Okay, so approved. It's approved. Item number 3, discussion, possible action. Do we want to do this first? Or do we want to go to the projects? Sorry, we want to go skip around maybe. This is more administrative. Jump to the projects so people can.
To jump to the projects.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Discussion, possible action. Let's see. 9604 Hillhaven.
Okay. I don't know if anyone is here representing that project. If they are, if they could please raise your hand or speak out, you know, from the representative side. No? Okay. So where we left off had to do with, or Richard, you know, you go ahead with this one.
Oh, so that one, let me see. This was one where we were not, if I remember correctly, we were not looking, or we wanted more information from the applicant. They were supposed to come back and give us more information. They had a project or some kind of work that was done without a permit that needed to be reported on, and they never got back to us. So I don't know if there's anything we can act on or there's any more discussion we can have about it, right?
I mean, yes, I don't know if any neighbors are here. I believe so. Anybody want to give us some updates that they may have on, I think it had to do with the street widening. And I know Patty, she's been in touch, but I had an email also on this, so I apologize. Anybody want to share updates on this?
Nothing was submitted to city planning since we talked, it looks like, based on the website. Not seeing it. Okay, I don't see any.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me find my email. I did get an email because we wanted to know what the city was requiring or not requiring. Yeah, shoot, I can't find it. Okay. He said, from the city told him, no highway dedication is required. However, you will be required to widen the roadway, Hillhaven Avenue, to a minimum of 20 feet from your property to Foothill Boulevard. Wherever the road does not meet the minimum requirement. The alternate is to obtain a zoning administration determination from the planning department in order to waive this request. Then somewhere in here he said, so they wanted him to widen all the way from his property to Foothill, which I know. But he says their property, this is the owner saying this, our property is already 20 feet wide. We are using an online portal they responded with. We don't get any new paperwork. But I think he wants to come to the meeting next month.
Okay,
But he's claiming his street is 20 feet wide. So no dedication is required. That's all I know.
He can present next time, but they're asking him to widen to the intersection or Foothill, and that's a little bit different than just outside his property.
okay. Anybody else have anything that they want to include on this? I know, okay. So yes, they did not provide a letter from city planning. They said they had received word on it, but they didn't, but they evidently don't have it in writing, and that would make sense. The city doesn't always issue things in writing. So what was the issue with regarding square footage?
Oh,
I
the,
do.
oh. Go ahead, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead, Patty.
If you want, I can go into the 420. I think there's some addition on site that was unpermitted that they were also trying to legalize. So they had other issues with city planning and building and safety, but they were also simultaneously trying to justify. The road widening was a part of their approval for planning or whatever, some requirement, but it's separate from the other issues they were having.
Right. Okay. Wow. Okay. So it sounds to me like we're going to be seeing hopefully this again next month. So if anybody has any additional information that they can share, to submit it to Patty or Richard or I, and we'll get it on the agenda and get it posted for the community. Does that sound good? Anyone?
Sounds great, Cindy.
Okay, I don't see any hands raised. Okay, all right.
Okay,
Oh.
next item. Oh, public comments, any comments from the public? No? Seeing no hands, raised. Next item, update on 7665 Macrea.
Yeah, now we left off requesting that they come back. I don't know if anybody's here on behalf of the developer for this one. Is anybody wish to raise your hand or speak up? I think neighbors are here, but not developer.
I thought they confirmed me that they're gonna come by. If they're not here, they're not here. Now, the one neighbor sent pictures. Is he here? He said he was gonna be. Shoot, I forgot his name.
It's Ernest Padilla. I'm here.
Yeah, okay, Ernest. He's got pictures showing the parking situation on that street, which I think we all know. And then also a city, I think, a company uses it.
Yeah, well, I could show. I have. If I
Ernest,
could share my screen, I can show the pictures.
Rich, can you, I think he just needs ours taken down and then he can share. Is that right? That'd be great. Okay, you want to give it a try, Ernest?
Yes. Let's see. This should do it. Let's see, I'm trying to share now. Let's see. And can you see my screen? It may take a bit to come on.
I see pictures.
Okay.
It's there.
So this is the pictures that I took this morning. So the property that the project is at the very end of the street. As you see, there is wall-to-wall cars. You know, there's not a space to be had, and that's typically what's in the morning. I switch to the other one. You know, this is, you'll see both the neighbor here. They're parking 2 cars on their lawn. And on the other side, you can't see it. They're also parking on their lawn just because there's no access. This cul-de-sac, as you see right here this morning, the trash truck couldn't get around and got stuck and was stuck in the cul-de-sac for about 5 minutes to 10 minutes before they can get someone honking the horn to get someone so they can actually access that around. But the street itself is so narrow that you can only fit 1 car around, and people are going through there. Let's see, this is going looking up McCrae, away from the project. You see it's still the same density all the way through here, and you'll see this is the this is called the Conservation Courts. It's a nonprofit group that plants trees all throughout LA. Their arbor is right behind there. They come 2 to 3 times every day and access their garden. They get water, they get their trees, load them up and take them off, and then they use that area. Also, onto the left here is the Community Garden, another nonprofit group that's been, you know, a wonderful boon to the community. Those people use the cul-de-sac to park. We very much welcome them, but it's easy to have access and safer access than going through the park. But if you go back to the picture on the street there, it's a safety concern in terms of, if you look up, there is the entire length of McCrae. There's no sidewalks. There is no sidewalks on either side, parking on both sides. We have children, mothers, everything accessing the street, going into the park. School kids coming from Verdugo, going into the park, going to access that. People accessing bonds. The whole street's only 25 feet across. As you said, it's very dense. And to add 7 units, they say, you know, without any parking space. We saw the plans last time. There was 7 units, you know, 3 bedrooms, but they only have 2 garage parking spots, no guest parking, no consideration for the entire community, the neighborhood, but also the park, the conservation corps, the community garden, or even really trash pickup. So it's ridiculous what they're considered. It's a cash grab. They're trying to maximize the investment and trashing the entire neighborhood to go along with it. So that's all I have to say. I just wanted to make my concerns. I wasn't able to make it to the October meeting, but just want to get my concerns expressed now.
Ray Garcia Luis, I think he's wishes to speak too, Rich.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, good evening. I guess I heard all the members here on this meeting, and I paying attention about that. Just the last one who spoke, and we have I mean, there's a garden, community garden right there in the end of the street. That we are members. We are a lot of families who had our garden in that area, and we were talking about this since you guys probably got the information from one of the members, and we disagreed when we heard that because it sounds peaceful when we're there, and the neighbors also I think notice that this is not gonna be convenient thing to do. As a family around there, we feel like peaceful and also safe because our vegetables, we have one time someone got into there and took some of our members' vegetables, and we don't want any other issues like that. We were until now we're peaceful. I mean, like cooperating to each other, like helping each other, and when I don't know if this project is gonna move on, if it's not gonna work or something, this thing probably is not gonna work anymore for the community because this is for Sunland-Tujunga members. So it's kind of we're trying to gather there and be like a family. Like every day we show up there, or it's a nice place to plant vegetables. But we seeing also some days that there's a lot of traffic within the city who comes and plants their own trees and come and get their own trees to transfer to a different part. I talk to these city workers every once in a while, and they bring out issues about this project that they have in the side of the garden too. So sometimes it becomes traffic if it's Monday, Tuesday. What about if the projects start there? It will be worse. Not gonna be safe place. It could happen that you taking your children or something, you could run in an accident. It could be. I don't think it's gonna be safe for everyone. The street is not wide, so that's all I can say. I'm sharing my my thoughts and my feelings about what's going on in my community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any, you want to check if there's anybody else?
Yes,
I saw somebody in chat to check.
That was
Rudy.
that was
No,
Rudy.
I have something. I'm Jake 5. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I looked at the plans today for what those 7 houses will look like. They are going to be 3-story structures. That is to me just outrageous. This street and the neighboring the houses around it are all 1-story houses, or on this street there are many duplexes. I used to own a duplex on this street, and to now have someone go into a house, to a large lot that had 1 house, and try to build 7 3-story houses. And so they're going to be 3 bedrooms. If you use a rule of thumb that there's going to be a car for each bedroom, that's 21 more cars. There's no way that this street can accommodate anybody that has that needs off-street parking. If these houses were sold and people were to have any kind of celebratory get-together, where would those people park? What kind of danger would this be to people? I go to that park. I walk my dog to that park. I was there last week. When I was in the park, there was maybe 25 or 30 people, all sizes, kids, adults, people that were exercising, people that were sitting at the tables playing board games. And as I walked my dog around, I had to walk down the middle of the street in order to get to the park. I go to that park often. I've gone there for years. But I've seen mothers pushing strollers down the middle of the street, and now they want to add anywhere between 21 to 40 more cars if they were to have some sort of celebration, have friends over, which people do any day of the week. It's just untenable. I can't imagine that you could bring in 21 more cars, or even 14 cars if there was only 2 per house, and we know better now than that. So I can't imagine the safety, the danger, and the 3-story buildings. They're cramming 7 3-story single-family houses on a lot that has 1 house currently. It's a large lot, but that doesn't equate to 7 properties that are 3 stories that will look like nothing else that is in the neighborhood. I've seen the design. It looks like the 3 stories look like shoeboxes stacked on top of each other. There's no architectural style for the neighborhood. There's no consideration for the livability of the people that are living there now. The fact that there is a park there that people use every single day. The fact that there's a community garden, which dozens of people use. The fact that there's the tree core there that use that cul-de-sac as well. There's no consideration for the livability of this area. And I just think it's wrong, and we need to have a voice in this, because it is definitely, they're just trying to maximize the space that they have. They're trying to put 7 houses in an area that now has 1, in an area where there's a park, there's a community garden, there's a library, there's a shopping area, Vaughn's within walking distance, and it just is not going to work. It's not going to add. You can't add that many, the population and that many vehicles and still have safety. Someone is going to get killed on that street as they pull out, and with all the cars on the street, and someone's walking down the middle of the street, which I've done dozens and dozens of times to take my dogs to the park. So I just really have safety concerns. I have the fact that it's just absolutely different from anything else we have in Tujunga. There's no 3-story buildings, single-family houses that I'm aware of, especially a complex like this. I mean, it's not apartment buildings. These are single-family homes that are trying to build areas. They're trying to maximize the space and maximize their profit. And I don't think that we should have a voice in this and say it very loudly. Okay, I think I'm finished. Thank you.
Cindy, may I say something?
Good.
Yeah, I'd like to add that, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I hate to add to the anxiety, but another issue that happens is you've got contractors and subcontractors that are up there for weeks and sometimes months. And not only does that increase the traffic, and I'd like to think that everyone's honest, but we have so much illegal work happening up here in our mountains where the streets are narrow, and the crime has gone up. So you've got people that are coming in, unfortunately, bad actors that are casing houses and telling other people, maybe not them, but telling other people when people are home, when people aren't home, what patterns to look out for. And we've had a lot more burglaries and car thefts and things in our neighborhood with several ongoing projects in the neighborhood. So as I said, I hate to add to the negativity, but it's also something else to consider when you're thinking about these things happening in your neighborhood, because it's been a nightmare for us.
Well, you added, this is Jake 5 again, you add another thing that I hadn't thought of too. I can't imagine how construction trucks would be moving up and down this narrow street that you're seeing right here. This is a typical Sunday afternoon. I was there and walking down the street, and at every single parking spot that possible is taken, plus people parking on lawns. I cannot imagine if a trash truck can't get turned around, how building and construction trucks are going to, and things that have to excavate are going to go in there, and they're going to be able to manage without someone getting physically hurt or dead. I mean, it's just untenable. I just can't imagine it.
I think Marco Barone at the October meeting said something like it will be, upwards of 40 trucks going in and out, just excavating dirt. And then you've got cement trucks coming in to pour cement. And so it's going to be an ongoing issue with noise. And like I said, our crime has increased, and it's pretty frustrating.
This is Patty. The lady that said she read the blueprints or whatever, the plans. Does it say how many cars per house will be accommodated on their property.
They said two per property,
Yeah.
but I don't believe that's the good rule of thumb anymore. That means that
Oh,
they
no, I
are
agree. I totally
Yeah.
agree.
Any other comments? Meetings, I think, so
Okay.
there's no, there's just discussion, no, unless there's any desire for a motion from
I
any of the
think that
members.
we're taking, Rich, that we're taking all the notes down of
Yeah,
the neighbors' concerns. And we asked them to return the last time, and it was even mentioned reducing the number of units. So I don't know if any more of the neighbors, how they feel about that, because people do have a right to build they're on their property. So, but we did invite them to consider that and to come back. So I think that's where we're at right now. is to
I
get-
think this is, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is Jake 5 again, and I think that the property is zoned for 3 units. I think they could, I believe what I read today was that that it is zoned for R3. I think that means that they could have up to 3 units, but I need to read that a little bit more to be sure that that's correct.
Well, that's a good thing that we should research on that one. Yeah, I think 7 way out of is way too big.
okay. Let's see. Moving on to the next item, vote to approve the draft support letter and forward for board approval. I'm gonna share my screen again. Second. Second, this document. You guys see my screen? Okay. So we had a comment letter kind of drafted based on the comments from our last meeting. Wanted
This
to
is a
talk-
draft. This is not the letter, by the way.
Yeah, yes. Yes, this is just a draft. Wanted to see if there's any discussion on the comment letter to see if it meets if there's something else we should add to the comment letter or take away.
I don't think everybody's maybe can see it. Maybe you could read it and that might help and see if.
Oh,
either-
yes, I'm sorry.
um,
Okay, just
sorry.
to start, I'll just start with the text of the letter. The Sunland-Tujunga Neighborhood Council, STNC Land Use Committee met on November 20th with the applicant's representative, Savannah Malian Mendozian, or Mendozian, whatever. The site is located within the Foothill Boulevard Corridor Specific Plan, Major Activity Area 3, Target Area 3. Currently, the site is open as a private club and the entrance is from the rear alley. The committee recommends that the entrance be from the Commerce Avenue storefront. Upon the recommendation of the Land Use Committee, the Sunland-Tujunga Neighborhood Council meeting voted to support the Land Use Committee recommendation by a vote of X and X. So this, just to recap, this was a proposal for the Jump Club business that's there now in the corner of Commerce and is it Tujunga Canyon? They are currently opening it as a private club. They wanted to open it up as a retail establishment. They needed some approval for it. We recommended, or we moved to recommend the project, but had a comment about the entrance. Or I think we had a comment about the entrance be from the Commerce Avenue storefront, which I believe at the time they were amenable to. Any questions, discussion from the committee?
Richard, this is Nina.
Yes, can you see it?
Didn't they say that they're going to open the front?
I
at
think
the
they were
last meeting?
amenable to it, yes.
but we need a commitment that they're going to. Just
think-
being, I mean, you know, just saying they would be okay. It's not saying they'll do it. We need to have something that says they will.
Yeah, let me check. I thought there were more than. Okay, let me double check. I think their sites showed public access from the front. Their site plan.
But we're also supposed to be able to see inside.
Oh,
You
that
know,
was addition, just to ensure that it's visible.
right.
So these are entry doors. This is the east elevation. I believe.
And everything needs to be permitted.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying. Okay, so if you want, we can clarify that and okay, the entrance.
Yes, thank you.
And
Maybe change that word. Recommends to requires. Request.
Yes.
May I?
Go ahead if you're suggesting.
Anything that was discussed, anything that was promised verbally by the owner to be or is, has to be put in a conditional document that the approval is upon the condition that all these things that you've said, all these things that you promised are actually executed and completed before the approval is on. That's all I have to say. Because we listened to him. He told us exactly what we wanted to hear. He was a coy gentleman. And I'm not going to say it was all hot air, but he said what he needed to say as owner. And he said what he wanted us to hear. But there has to be a conditional on this, that unless everything that was promised verbally by him and the young lady that represented him is completed and done and signed off, it's not approved.
You guys want the primary entrance, or can they have an entrance? I think an entrance is
Primary. Should be on the street,
so, but they
not
already
behind.
no, so they can have more than one entrance.
Oh, yes, but the
Yeah.
but the primary one should be off the street at the corner where Litchfield Canyon is. I mean, Tanga Canyon. And I agree with Peter that we shouldn't sign off on anything until they do what they said they're going to do, because it's a past experience.
So, I mean, we can't. I mean, we're not approving their permit. I guess
Giving
I'm
them
talking.
conditions.
Yeah,
You're giving
we're
them
gonna.
conditions.
Yeah, let's request it as a condition of approval, because otherwise,
Right.
Yeah, that will win, and if the city approves the determination letter, we'll give the conditions that have to be met.
I'm writing it the way I'm used to, but we can rewrite it how you guys. Unobstructed. Is there anything else that you guys want to see?
That's it for me.
Patty, is this, I know this is not the format, you guys, I'll reformat it so that it's more the way you,
No, that looks good to me. The signage on the building, I think that's proper. Anybody else want to have a comment on that?
the signage they have now,
Yeah, up there it
what they're
says,
proposing?
well, they have it there. They had it uncut, they had it cut. But it's back. But I think it's good. It's not a roof. It's just on there, I think. I think it looks fine.
Is it the? Would it be uncovered?
No, I don't think it needs to be mentioned
Okay, good.
unless we wanted it changed. And I'm assuming they're gonna keep that sign the way it is.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they decide to take down their signage.
Yeah.
If they're open to the public. Okay, currently site is open to private club, the committee requests commission approval. Primary entrance be located to allow direct pedestrian entrance from access from Commerce Avenue. And the doors and windows on Commerce Avenue allow the public unobstructed visibility of the interior establishment. Is there anything else? I think that captures what we talked about. There was some discussion about the parking, but the parking, they had gotten found offsite parking at the Mace Temple or some other location. Yeah. So they have adequate, or they're saying they have adequate parking. Is there any?
But they're saying they have adequate parking. Do they have the permit for it? Have we seen it? Or is it just talk again?
Okay, how about this?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Can I say something? The parking that they have been using and they say they can't use is the parking across the street, across the alleyway that belongs to another company. And then they said they're going to be using the Masonic Lodge. Well, the Masonic Lodge is only renting out and we don't know if they're going to sell it. So what's going to happen if that lodge parking is no longer available? Because that's very iffy. There's no place to park. So what's their plan B?
I mean, we just recommend that they, they may already do this, but, what's the word? There be a covenant for any, what would be the one that runs with the land? Is it does the city have covenants?
Would that be the Masonic Lodge would have a covenant?
I
That
think
whoever
it'd
buys it or
encumber
whatever?
both of them. Right, it'd be like something on.
Owner of that Masonic Lodge property would have to grant a covenant in writing, allowing them to park. Which, if that owner was ever to sell the Masonic, they would have a problem because they would have to keep that covenant on parking. My
If
understanding.
there is such a covenant, did they say they actually have a covenant or are they just
No.
leasing it?
We didn't ask that, but
Then we need to.
well, that's why he's putting it in.
That's got to be added to the condition.
It is, or I'm drafting it as that. For the use of any offsite parking utilized to meet development required to be memorialized in a covenant that is recorded on the no, it wouldn't be the subject parcel. This is the, no, yeah, it's the subject. I have to check that term. I don't know if that's the right technical term. I forget what you call the one that gives the parking. I think it's.
Well, a covenant that is required on the subject's parcel. That would be, I think that's good. You don't want to say the Mason because they might get a covenant on that other property that's on the actual alley.
But the same, it should be for both. If they're going to use parking for both, we should have a covenant that covers both of them. Otherwise, they're not going to have any parking at all. None.
There, I made it.
Except for
There.
the street.
Here we go.
You're
The use of-
you can't read what he's writing, can you? He's
Yeah, but-
putting that in there.
Yeah,
Read that back
so I'll
to
just read
me.
it out. That the use of any offsite parking utilized to meet development requirements be memorialized in a covenant that is recorded on the subject parcel providing the parking for this use.
Good, okay,
Am I good?
okay.
That'll work.
Okay. Then, is there any other changes you'd like to see to the letter?
That's it.
All right, does anybody, oh, let's open it. This is not, something we open discussion because this is internal, right? Because we already said we'd approve it, so it's something we move to what?
Yeah, you need a motion to approve the draft letter and take a vote.
Does this letter move anybody strongly?
I agree with the letter as long as all the changes are made.
Yes, I made those changes. I can't, I mean, I drafted it, so I don't know if I can move it.
I don't think it requires a motion. We already moved on this project,
Okay.
as in to approve it. So just if we just vote on it in general to modify the letter
That
and move
needs
it on.
approval. The modified letter needs approval.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay, and
Okay,
that's
so
it.
Cindy, you want to take a vote, or let me know if this should be a motion or a vote?
Can you call down the list?
Sure. Patty? Just for a vote, you mean?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
Patty,
Sorry, yes.
Richard, yes. Cindy?
She must have left.
No, Cindy's here.
Oh, she's here?
Yeah, she just told me to call the vote. Call the vote, I'm leaving. I think Cindy, you're muted.
I don't think you can vote.
I can come. Oh, she can't vote? Okay.
No.
Nina?
I agree. Yes.
Okay, let's see, who's the, Peter?
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Did I leave anybody out? Peter's not here. Betty's not here.
Did you
Barton's
ask
here.
Barton?
Yes,
Okay, there it is. All right, that's everyone but Cindy. I think we have it, right? It's a majority.
We got 6, so it passed.
Okay,
Okay. So now we can go back to some general updates. Is that okay? Shall I help you with that on the agenda?
yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to back up to item 4, C, 7742 McGroarty, the determination letter. If you recall, this was the Shekinah Church at the intersection of McGroarty and Mount Gleason. Their determination letter has approved their project, and that is linked there on our agenda. D is the mayor visited the valley and met with leaders in the valley regarding economic development. And you can read up and stay on top of things with the mayor at the link that's there on the agenda. The president, Lydia Grant, was able to attend that meeting. So you can also connect with her on that. The question here for the item 4E is, does anybody have any other Foothill Boulevard Commerce Avenue updates? I know some of those might have been mentioned in our early start of our meeting, such as Sweet Cherries and the Crow's Nest. Does anybody
And the
have?
golf course. The Angeles Golf Course.
And the Angeles Golf Course and Crows. Anybody have anything else?
May I ask a question about the Crow's Nest? I read somewhere that there's a plan to build housing there, or is that just a rumor?
That's what we've heard. We have no plans known or
I wouldn't believe anything you read on Facebook. Who knows? I don't think Art, I haven't talked to the owner, the owner of the Crow's Nest. I don't think he knows.
The owners of the property are planning to build. I talked to
Yeah,
Art.
now, the guy that runs Sweet Cherries, he thinks they want to turn that into a sports bar. I don't know. But like I said, rumors are rumors. And I haven't seen any applications. Just have to wait till when Crow's Nest.
well, we have a lot of new and energetic neighbors on this call, on this Zoom call. We'll get them involved and have them invite them to our land use committee meeting so we can get the real deal from the horse's mouth, so to speak, up here, if that's possible. Okay. All right. So I took care of item 4. Item 5, this is information, and I encourage you to open up these links. Coming down the pipeline are some proposed land use regulations, and you can see those as from the link on item A. The next one, B, is really important because we were talking about earlier the appeal for the former Denny's property. Those processes are going to change effective January 22nd, 2024. Now, that doesn't mean that the Denny's one will fall into that because, excuse me, because their approval was already before, and now their appeal was already pre this date. But this is the date that this goes into effect. And one thing that I point out is that in the future, when appeals are filed, the whole of the project will come into play. In other words, will be required to review an appealed project in total. So anyway, read up on that. There'll be more educational type events that you can participate in, and there's also recordings of other events that have happened to explain the processes and procedures. That item has taken years to get now. Also, you can receive directly updates on projects that get filed in the community that require a approval of some type from the city. Not every building permit, but approvals, those that require an approval, like the ones that you see here. And those you can sign up so that you get them emailed directly to you at the link in item 5C. And with that, I think the next thing that I wanted to talk about is item number 3. And, you know, Richard and Patty, I know we're coming up on 9 o'clock. If maybe we could put this off till next meeting, but I really, really want our committee members to think about it, is should we hold our meetings on Zoom, or should we be hybrid meetings, which is Zoom and in person? That means we would still need a location. And we need to think about what the quorum requirements are, and then a meeting location. So I don't know if anybody has any comments they want to share now about that.
I would recommend, I mean, hybrid might be best for everybody. I know there's, I think nothing replaces the in-person meeting, in my opinion. But if we get issues or people can't come, I think it'd be nice to have an alternative. If you're traveling or not feeling well or indisposed, I think it'd be easier on a lot of people if there is that option.
Yeah.
Have we seen any increase in attendance to answer that comment? I don't think so. Yeah. I'm totally against having Zoom meetings. When the personal interaction is not there, when there is no eye-to-eye contact and you don't see the reaction of the people that are talking or receiving the comment, I don't consider that proper and I don't consider that complete. So I personally am and will continue to be against Zoom meetings.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting it'd be full-time Zoom, just a hybrid. Yes.
Hybrid is acceptable in the sense that, let's take the city of Glendale. City council sits, they have their meeting. Lately, if you ever watch their meeting, which I do every week, I missed it. I will not miss it every Tuesday. There's nobody there, nobody. So they are forced to have phone call-ins. And their phone call-in will be our Zoom call-in for people who want to participate. And outside of the people that are there because they're presenting their case, who have 5 minutes to speak, I would say a good 30% above that are people that are on the phone calling and making comments. So the hybrids will be acceptable. I have other meetings that I go to that are hybrid. It works. So I am for hybrid.
What I like about, it's a Patty. What I like about the Zoom, instead of somebody bringing in rolls of, I'm gonna call them blueprints, plans, and trying to explain that to every person when it's not a Zoom, I like them sharing their screen, pointing to certain things and pointing that out. I'm a big fan of the Zoom. The hybrid, I don't know how that works. You've got to have good cameras, I would assume, good equipment to do that. I don't know. Do we have good equipment? I don't know. But right now with me, I'd much rather Zoom, and I'm not sure if I can continue with in person. That's my personal situation right now.
I understand.
Any other comments? Well, we have more work to do. We need to find out the details of the requirements for hybrid and what the costs and so forth. So we'll explore that with we'll take the feedback back to the board. I think that's what we need to do because we're not the only committee with this challenge. So but I wanted to try to get some feedback from folks. So
Maybe the jump house guy will give us his space for free.
there you go.
Trampoline meeting, everybody will come.
Okay, all right, so we took care of number 3 now. Shall we jump down to general public comments? Rich, do you want to take that?
Yes, good. Yeah, does anybody have any comments on items that are not on the agenda that are within our jurisdiction? I see something in the chat. Patricia is a question about what happened to the Macrea place.
Oh, we didn't make any decisions on that. That's just, we just collected more feedback.
Yes, yeah, we talked about it. We just collected more feedback. They're hoping they'll come back.
Yes, we're hoping they will. Okay, what other, any other public comments? Anyone? Okay.
Well, yes, this is Daniel Hatcher. I really need some assistance. So I need somebody to help me figure out where these letters are going to go to that Peter told me about. So I'll take the reins on that, but I just need to know where to send them. So can somebody in the city council step up and say, hey, okay, I can find that information for you, and then I'll take it from there.
Yeah, I'll help
Yeah,
you.
we can.
Yeah, I'll help you find that.
Okay, well then, then can I give you my phone number and you just call me, or how do you want to do that?
Just email secretary@stnc.org, and then we'll connect. Give me your contact information.
Okay.
Anybody else
Okay.
want to help with this? No?
Yeah, happy. I'm not sure what other information we could provide. Other than it's got to get to the council person because
Yes,
it's
it
a
does.
political question.
Yeah.
How to gin up public support? I am.
No, that part I can do on my
Yeah.
own. But I don't know where Peter said send letters. Okay.
Oh, I see.
To,
You want comments?
to whom?
Yeah.
And where, you know, in what fashion do they need to be addressed? You know, I don't know who it's supposed. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I just need that information and a solid address to send the letters to. I'm gonna go out and purchase a big banner on my own. I'm gonna put it out there right on the fence. And actually, if the homeless guys are out there, I'm gonna pay them to sit there and get people drummed up. Whatever we got to do, because this is getting ridiculous. We shouldn't even have to be doing this. Actually, somebody told me that there was really no point in trying to fight this, and that our local city council was completely useless to do anything to stop it. So I've met with a lot of that, and I really hope that's not true, because I'm not one to give up. So all I need is that address, the name of the person, or their, their job title, and I'll take it from there.
Okay. We'll connect this week. Okay.
Okay. And what's that? The email address?
It's secretary@stnc.org. I'll write it in the chat, but it's secretary@stnc.org. Okay.
Okay. I will send that out right now, so you'll see it soon.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for everything you guys do. I'm gonna try to go to sleep now.
So I think the other land use committee members, and we're looking for more people to join this committee. As you have seen in the past couple of meetings, we struggle getting a quorum sometimes, and we need more voices from around the community to be involved. And so we have openings. If you have an interest, please, again, write to Secretary and attend our meetings. Peter is our newest member of the committee, and we really appreciate that he has joined us. And we don't want to lose anyone else on this committee. So so think about that. Open planning applications. Patty has these for the 6915 is a application for alcohol license that's still on hold. And then the McCrae item is a duplicate. I apologize for that. And then we've already talked about McCrae. And then we need to confirm whether we're meeting on January 8th or 22nd. The board will be meeting on the 10th, which is when the letter that we just discussed tonight will go to for that meeting. Does anybody have a preference of meeting the 8th or the 22nd?
If the board is meeting on the 10th, I think we should meet on the 22nd. Unless we need to present it on the 8th. I take that back.
We've already approved that letter.
Yeah.
The way it is.
So that's
So
fine. So so 22nd will be fine.
Yeah. I agree, 22nd.
And I sent you guys the letter, so it's already done. Okay. Any other public comments, discussion?
This is Jake. I just wanted to say thank you also for all that you do. I recognize how much work this is to pull this all together, and a small group of people doing it. So I just want to say thank you for allowing us to have a voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to everyone. If you enjoy your
Merry
holiday
Christmas.
family
Yeah.
time.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
Good
and
holidays.
good night.
Thank you.
Feliz
Happy holidays.
Navidad.
Everybody, happy New Year.
Feliz Navidad.
This is all
Love
going in the
it.
minutes, by the way.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Okay.
Did you get that recorded, Richard?
It's all recorded. It's in the minutes. Thank you all.
Great job.